Hey guys, this is Phil. Today we're going to be working on this, which is my mob interface that I've got in my LP world. I'm doing a separate video for it because that episode 4, got corrupt. Basically what it is you attach this to a mob trap, which you will see here. This is just my creative single player mess around world. And then the mobs will go along here, you can see them, and then they will just go around here. This is just an item grinder. But if you would like to experiment with mobs, then round the back of the design there are 4 different exits. So you can transport the mobs off to whatever evil contraptions you want to do. Such as the lol tube, which is just a nice silly idea I had, where you have random tubes around your base that mobs float around just for the novelty. Or a record farm, so get skeletons shooting at creepers. Or an XP farm, even though Enderman and Blaze farms are better. If you want an XP farm in your base, you could send them off to one of those, or something else. I haven't thought of a 4th thing. It doesn't send spiders around the back, unfortunately. They're not really that useful. But so I've turned on the first exit, which goes to my lol tube. As you can see, they are getting sent out through there, and then off to wherever you want. And any of these buttons that aren't on a separate block will just reset it, so the mobs will then go back to going around to the item grinder. There's not much complicated around here, it's just simple water canals. Although spiders can get stuck depending on how you've designed it. So I've already built one already. This is what we're going to end up with after the end of this video. It's just a slightly cleaner version of this. This is actually the second time I'm doing the tutorial. It's just the first time I did it I wasn't really sure how to actually build it. But now I've got everything in my mind, so here we go. To start, you want to build a 17 by 7 wall. This will be the main big display. You can use whatever block you want. I'll go with sandstone. And I think that's 17. And there will be glass on the 4th column. Column 4th row, which will be in the center. So I'll speed this up. So there we go. If you want to build a design exactly like how I've done with the walls, hang on, just going to peaceful. Then after this you go 2, 1, 1, 2, and then I think it was 6 for where the mob, and then the mob grinder goes in the center. But I'm not going to be showing you how to do the mob grinder this episode. This is just for the redstone. So I'll speed this up. So when you've got this, we're going to place the buttons on the bottom that will actually control the exits. I don't know, using an iron block for those. So you go leave 2 block gap and then leave a 3 block gap between all the buttons, and then you'll end up with a 2 block gap on this side. Place buttons on there, and then you can place the reset buttons in between. Then you need some redstone lamps. We're going to place those in the middle above the respective buttons. So, same alignment or placement or spacing. Spacing, that's the word. Now go around the back. This is where you're going to attach your mob trap. You will need a 2x2 chute from your mob trap because this design incorporates spiders. This bit will only be 3 high. And then these will just extend up to wherever your mob trap is. So, I'm going to be making this out of glass, but I'm also going to be breaking glass as I build it, so you might want to watch the whole tutorial first, if you're really that desperate and scared about breaking glass. Then extend this. Right, now you need to actually make the exit behind each redstone lamp, so just knock out the glass in each bit, and just extend this forwards a few blocks for now, just so we have a reference of how long it's going to be in the future. And I'd block them off just so you don't spill water everywhere, because there's going to be redstone underneath this water, which makes this design a little bit precarious. You do have to be quite careful when you build it. Lovely. So the way I use the signs in the mob trap is alternating them diagonally like this. There is a reason for this. It's if you have a mob trap below, then because of the way the water is spaced, as the mobs float up, then they won't drown, because they should always be touching an airspace. Right. This bit is a little bit tricky. If you place water there, you'll notice it won't flow all the way over here. So to fix this, just place a completely separate water source over here that will connect up with it, and then when you remove that, then the water will be extended. I think I can get it to extend a little bit further. There we go, that's perfect. Now we need to lower this 2x3 bit of glass here, and then over here this will allow us to extend the water all the way along without changing the height or the y coordinate. So what you want to do, go down here. This will be between the two lamps in those 3 blocks. Extend it out 2, put glass there, and then need to get rid of these 6 blocks. Now put signs on the same level as the water that you placed, and then put a half slab there and there. This will allow you to then put another source block there. So this is a great trick for extending water, because you can get pushed up any like half block border by water. We need to do the same thing here, but this time start on the far left of your 2x3, like underneath this lamp. Oop. Place ones by the side so it doesn't float everywhere. Half slabs. Signs in the middle. Just block this off for now. And then one more source block there. And there we go, the water is now done. What we now need to do is place the glass covering above this. So place one big long line of glass there. And then place the other one like one block up and to the right of that. So this one. The reason it is this shape is because it will keep the tall mobs like creeper skeletons and zombies in one place and the spiders in another place, so the mobs won't have to like push around each other if you want any of them to get through the exits. Then the tall mobs will always be on this side and they can just pop into the exit straight away. So I think that's everything you need to do for the glass and all the water stuff for now. Now it's the redstone part, so you might actually want to remove the water. I should have mentioned this earlier. But you're going to need to do some digging from the main wall. You'll need to dig 3 down and 8 away from it, so like this. Video editing magic. Also, here's my 17 by 8 by 3 wide hole. You only actually need to extend it out 7 blocks, but having this 8th block will allow you a little bit of room to walk around. Then you need to get rid of everything underneath these blocks, because that's where the buttons are. And then you need one long redstone wire across there, and I think you'll need to extend it one past this final block. Now, that'll require a redstone building material, and everyone knows we use wool for redstone. Now, I've explained this before in a few videos, but if you don't know what this is an RS NOR latch. What that means is the 2 purple wool are your inputs. You can take an output from either of these torches. Basically, to change the state of it, you press a button, and then that button will no longer do anything. You then have to press the other button to then change it back. You then have to press this button again. Yeah, so this is going to be very important in the design of this, because basically what's going to happen when you press a button, it's going to turn all the RS NOR latches into one state and then flip one of them, so there'll be one trapdoor open. So we're going to build those now. So from your button block, you want to place a wool next to it, and then go down and right, and extend out 7 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then place 3, and then we're going to build an RS null latch on there with a torch there and a torch there. It doesn't really matter which way you place the torches, but if you do them in another order, then the state is going to be reversed and it might confuse you, but really don't worry about that yet. Then you need to knock out this block here for later. Technically you can knock out that one and that one and that one as well, but yeah, it's just for design. Then put a repeater here. Because of the way the RS null latch works, this block is receiving power, so it will be sending power back into here, and you don't want it to be going into this master wire. Now, we need to place a torch on there, a block on there, torch on there. Remove this, place a torch on there, and a block on there. I have forgotten something very important. Before we carry on with the redstone, I forgot to place the trapdoors, so to do this, go up to your torch, knock out the block, the glass block in front of it, and one to the left of it, replace those two with a solid block, and then put your trapdoor on there, and just plonk a solid block on there and put another trapdoor on it, and then go and do this for your 4 exits. Also, this block here, this will be to turn on the lamp. Trapdoors, where are you? Yeah, it's a lot easier if you take out the water, which is something I've only just realised. So hopefully you can see how this works, because if one trapdoor is on, one is off, then the mobs will be forced in one direction or the other because the water source is diagonal. And one last one. There we go, so back to the redstone. Sorry about that. So you want to put a torch on the side of this one, and then a torch above this, and then a torch on that. And then, in line with the lamp, place a wool, break this, turn it into wool, and then you'll run wire from there into the lamp. Don't put it onto this block or it will interfere with the trapdoor. Now this one, this will power this trapdoor here. So place a block there, put wire on it. Now you need to break these 2 blocks, which is especially difficult when you've got water in it. Then put 1 wire and then a repeater, or otherwise this wire could power that trapdoor. Then this torch will power the other trapdoor, so just break that block and put redstone wire on it. As you can see, the trapdoors are opposite, as in this one's receiving power, this one isn't, which is good. So if you end up with something like this, you know you've done something right. Now you need to do this 4 more times. I'll just do it once more quickly. Place the block on there, in line with the button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Block there. Torch on the side. A repeater. Another repeater. Then knock out this block. Place a torch on this block, and then you need to stack up, alternating between torches and blocks until you reach there. Then you put a torch on the side of that block, then put a block on that torch, put a torch on that block, and then this goes over to the redstone lamp. Then knock out that, replace it with something solid, put redstone on it to go to that trapdoor. Then put wire on there, break those 2 blocks, wire, and then a repeater. So I'll just do the other 2. Also, don't forget, like I did, repeater, and then 3 wire there. So now that's done. If, like this, you end up with one of them the other way around to all the others, that really doesn't matter, just as long as the trapdoors are actually opposite. And if this one is open, then the lamp should be on, so you have actually done it correctly. I think if you go around the front and press a button, then they should just all turn off. So yeah, they do, so everything so far is correct. Now what we need to do is, each button needs to have a separate wire that will go back and then turn on its RS null latch, which which is what this wall that we placed earlier is for. What you're going to do is sort of snake down to the floor with wire and place a repeater and put it on max delay or 4 ticks. Then run that into a block, put a torch on that so you make an inverter. Now this block that we destroyed here earlier, you place a block and then a torch, and then run that into there. So now, when we press the button, I know it's on already, but it gets turned off by this bit of wire here, and then because it is delayed, a few moments later it will turn itself back on. So now we need to do the same thing over here, but we can't just go to the left because this wire will join it with that wire, so you have to go forwards and put a block on there and then do your wire. This block just stops them connecting up, and then snake down to the floor again. Repeater, max delay, into a block with a torch on, that'll make your inverter. Torch on there, and then run that into there. Do that again, because you need to be a bit careful here. Wire, repeater, inverter. Don't know what I mean by inverter, I just mean the signal going out is opposite to the signal going in, so it goes in off, it comes out on. Blah, 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 blah. One last bit. I think it's pretty much nearly finished now. What am I doing? And there you go, some of them might be on, some of them might be off. It is a good idea at this point to just press the buttons randomly in as many orders as you can to check it does actually work, and that certain combinations won't break the design. But hopefully everything is now working. It appears like it is. You can press any of these 3 buttons because they are not linked up to anything that turns the RS null latches back on. All they will do is turn everything off. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now there is one problem. When you reintroduce the water, and be careful, this is probably a better way of making the water flow, just temporarily replace those 2 water blocks with something solid. Yeah, then you do that, then it's flowing all the way. But I've got to do the same thing here. Right, now the water is flowing, but the problem is the water isn't really flowing that far, and if we want it to flow any further then we'll have to go down a level, but we can't because we'll have to place water next to this torch, so the water will just destroy the torch. So we're going to have to retwiddle this little bit of wiring so it goes to the right a little bit. I think it was that far. Block it off, make sure everything is nice and secure. Yeah, I'll leave that there. Place the water back. Ooh, way too high. Do the little update trick. Twice. Everything secure. It is very annoying if you flood your design because it can sometimes be difficult to see what you've ruined. Oh, come on. Might have to temporarily break that trapdoor. So there we go. Now that will flow off to wherever you want. So between this torch and this torch we need to invert it twice, I suppose, so that this torch is the same as this torch. So I'm just improvising here, but if you run wire off to there, into a torch, So this block is on. Yeah, so then you can just go like, just take a little bit of a detour, but that should do much the same thing. Then I'll just go and press the buttons to make sure everything is reset or in the correct position, and that it still works. And that the trapdoors are the right way around. Yes, they are. The other place you might need to do this is the third one along from the left. I'll stick my water back in. Let's go and remove that trap. Oh no, before you do that, we'll extend this out a bit. Now this one's going to be a bit more difficult because there's all this wiring in the way. So think about this. Water can flow 8 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, we're going to need to just have one extra block off the side if we want it to flow downwards properly. Extend. I'll try and extend this bit out. Just get rid of that block for now. Extend that. And block it off so you don't flood your wiring. Update it. Put the trapdoor back, so we've got the water. Now all we have to worry about is getting power from there up to there without interfering with anything else. I'll try the same thing that I just did. Okay, I came up with something simple enough. You just have to sort of turn a corner, build that way into a block, extend that up, and then give power into it that way. There will be gaps, so you do need to be careful, because if you have skeletons going down, like these water currents, and you're standing nearby, they could shoot you. They might shoot a creeper, although they are in mortar, they could blow something up. It's generally not a good idea to make mobs angry. So I think the design is now completely finished. All you need to do is run these off to your crazy mob experiments, and if you want the mob grinder, just extend this round in whatever way you see fit, and just install a drowner or a lava thing. I'm sure there's plenty of tutorials on YouTube on how to do that, but there you go. Also something I did in the original, which you might want to do. Just place 2 pressure plates from your water collection, and then they go underground and up and into 2 lamps with 2 repeaters like that, so when there is mob loot, then the lamps will turn on, because items don't display from a little distance, but the lamps will stay on, so you can see. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial for this. It's just a silly, overcomplicated redstone thing that presents everything in a nice interface. I am going on holiday, probably the day after this is uploaded, for a week, so there's not going to be any videos for a while. But I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you sometime.